look at it with regards to the income in Bulgaria, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So how can we help? Is there a website? Is there PayPal options? How can people get in touch with you guys and help?
We've got the website www.streetdogrescue.com. There is a how you can help page on there. There's donate buttons for one-off donations. There's a sponsor a dog page if somebody would like to pay towards a dog's monthly food costs. Also on the web store now, we have things where you can pay for a dog's vaccinations, castration, and there's also other ways that people can help, either cross-posting things, writing to people, gift packages, various ways.
So there's quite a lot of ways people could help. I received your newsletter recently, and apparently you're having some sort of trouble with the neighbour.
Yes, there's one elderly lady, and she saw my husband putting food and water out for one of the street dogs. She picked up the water, threw it over him. She's threatened the children with stones. She's started a petition trying to drive the English family out of Rudozem and just trying to cause us as much trouble as she possibly can.
It's interesting how speciesism and racism often is the same thing.
Sorry?
I said it's interesting to see how sometimes racism and speciesism seems to be the same thing. You know?
Yeah.
Apparently she probably would have done the same thing if you were Bulgarian. I think she probably just doesn't like what you do. So I reckon you have a counter petition for that. Do you?
Yes, we have. Well, she made this petition to the mayor when she's got so many signatures. There is a lot of corruption here. We always have to be very careful what we do, and it's just enough people get behind this woman and the mayor thinks he has to do something about it. We need to be able to show him that there are people around the world that know about us, know our situation, and support what we're doing.
How does the media help? Is there any media coverage sort of in your neck of the wood? Is there anyone that says, look, we put this out on air, on TV or radio or whatever, to highlight that what you're doing is actually a service to the community? How does this work?
I think the best way that the media could help is to help us appeal for funds so that we can finance a shelter. I mean, we have to be careful because if there's too much media awareness and it looks bad on the town, it looks bad on the mayor, then things could be made very difficult for us, and we may end up not being here.
Okay. Is that I don't actually understand that. You don't need visas, do you?
Sorry?
You don't need a visa to live there, do you?
You have to register. I mean, we've registered, we've got our cards, and then after 5 years, you know, you become a resident. We've done all that. We still see people who don't like the fact that we're here helping the dogs, who start spreading rumours that we're illegal immigrants, but no, I mean, we are here legally. We've done the paperwork.
See, that's what makes it so sad in a way, that instead of seeing what you're actually doing and embracing your work, people make your life difficult. It's a very sad fact that this happens in the 21st century, where we always sort of like to believe that we have evolved. Apparently we really haven't evolved. Do you have any support from the UK? Anyone in the UK that says, look, you know, we're doing this for gazillion years, we have some tips and tricks and we can help you with this? I mean, because I was wondering why you bring your dogs to Holland.
So why are we sending the dogs to Holland?
Yeah.
Well, to get dogs into the UK, they have to have the rabies vaccination and a blood test a month later, and then you've got a 6-month wait. So to send dogs to the UK, we would have to keep them for another 6-7 months.
So
whereas in Holland, it's 3 weeks after the rabies vaccination, then they can go to the new homes.
So that's,
we do have support from the UK. People on the group, people on the website.
Yeah, I mean, I just recently, we have obviously for this radio show we have you're a fan of WildTime, and we have fans of WildTime Radio on Facebook. So people can join us there on www.facebook.com/WildTime Radio. And recently we cracked the 300 fans mark, and one of your friends, Emma Clark, told me that she also is involved in doing the websites for you. Apparently you do have some people there that help you.
Yes. I mean, Emma has been with us really since we set up, and she takes care of the cause page. She does a lot of cross-posting, a lot of appealing. We have somebody in Australia now, Anita. She's our fundraising media coordinator. She helps with the website, with other groups. She's an absolute to us because it gives me more time to spend with the dogs.
Exactly, because that's the problem, isn't it? Because you are a family and not sort of an organization that has all the time in the world, you really have to make time for what you feel is right.
Yeah, I mean, from getting up in the morning, the time spent with the dogs, we go out on rounds, feeding dogs in the forest around the town, and to be able to do all the admin, all the appealing as well, I mean, it can take to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so it really is non-stop. So the help and support that I get from people doing the website, doing the Facebook group, other groups, you know, it's really valuable to me.
Yeah, I mean, you basically were saying that it is a bit difficult to sort of do things in Bulgaria as such because of the corruption and not everybody's happy. So it wouldn't make sense for people to send in letters to the mayor, would it?
That wouldn't help at all, no.
Okay.
I mean, it could make things very dangerous for us.
Okay, because that's usually what often happens when sort of highlight things that people say, look, you know, send them 30 letters and then, you know, the international community could do something there. But in this case, you rather refrain from it. But
yeah, I mean, there are people in other towns in Bulgaria, there's bigger expat communities, you know, they're in an entirely different position to we are. We're in a remote town in the mountains, no other expats. We are, you know, very isolated, so we do have to be careful.
I mean, it's nearly Christmas. If you could state a wish, anything that you say, like, you know, this is really something that has to happen to make our life better. What's the most immediate help that you need?
Funding for a shelter.
Okay. So give us your website address again so people can start donating.
Sorry?
Give us your web address again so people can start donating. What's your again?
www.streetdogrescue.com.
Perfect. I have to leave it at that because you're breaking up at times, so I sometimes can't hear you and vice versa. It was a pleasure talking to you, and
thank you.
Thank you so much for being on air, and we keep in touch via Facebook.
Right. Thank you very much for
You're welcome. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Diane Rowles in Bulgaria. I always thought it's Romania. Anyway, in Bulgaria. And one of the reasons why we sort of do these things is also sort of to highlight, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, and often the show has an Irish angle a lot, to be honest. But it is shocking when you sort of on Facebook and you see what people do, and when you, like myself, are an activist and also working with shelters here in Ireland. And I have been able, and I'm actually grateful for that, to be able to really visit shelters also in other countries. I went to the Bear and Foal Sanctuary in Devon, and I've been to the States last year, and I went to a Greyhound thing. So it is interesting to see that, and it was quite shocking to me when I actually read the problems that they have in Bulgaria. Because again, you know, we always think like, well, come on now, it's Europe, it shouldn't be that bad. But in fact, it really is. Anyway, here's another Rudozem song. You're listening to WildTime here on 94.3 FM. Also, we are broadcasting globally on the digitalhubfm.com. This is another Rudozem track.